the real thing. Now, what you can't tell is how steep this track is, and the steepness really defines this facility.
Yeah, lots of elevation change, and that's what makes it nice. Off-camber, elevation change, true motocross. That's why the riders love it.
All right, and there's different ways to attack this track. One rider has a very unique strategy. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
Guys, Tony Cairoli has still chosen to use this paddle tire. Now, this is the only place that it's going to be great on the rest of the track. He has said himself that it's going to be a compromise all the way around. So all the pressure is right here. If he gets a hole shot, he's proven right. If he doesn't, he's going to have to suffer through the consequences of 35 more minutes.
Paddle tire, great in a straight line. Not in the corners as much when it's hardened up, though.
Yeah, he mentioned earlier that it was important for him to get a good start. One of my key points.
Oh, there you go.
When a 9-time world champion, it solidifies my thought there. I feel better about myself. And one of the other things, too, is the setup of the bike. The deep ruts, you've got to get the bike high enough to where it's not dragging. You've also got to deal with some suspension changes. We can talk further about that as the moto goes on. But the bike setup's very critical today.
Those are the KTM keys to the Moto. Shout out to our Profiteer Power Award winner from FMF. Last week, Henry Miller, the likable rider out of Minnesota, coming back from some injuries in Supercross. We'll give him the award a little bit later in the day as we get ready for our first 450 Moto of the day here at High Point. 30 minutes and 2 laps, 40 riders. It's all on the line right here. 3 winners in the first 3 rounds. Can we get a 4th? It starts now. Jason Anderson, an unbelievable jump out of the gate, but he's going to get pinched off. I think that was his teammate, Joey Savacci, in there. No, it's Chase Sexton, who's going to grab the motorsport.com hole shot. Justin Barcia's into the number 2 position.
Yep, Jason Anderson looks like he's sitting in fast qualifier, sitting in about 4th place. He almost had the hole shot, not quite, just got pinched off there. Chase Sexton made a little better move. Bam Bam Barcia up on the inside, sitting in 2nd place right now, so this is a challenge.
Chase Sexton has some determination today, had the 2nd Moto win, all but one last week in Colorado, and crashed with a few turns to go. He's leading right now.
And we talked about Tony Cairoli picking a scoop tire for the start. Well, he's in 4th. He hole shotted. He had 3 in a row, got the streak broken now, but still up front where he needs to be.
Yes, didn't get the hole shot this time. He'll have to deal with that paddle or scoop tire around the rest of the track. Here is Chase Sexton. And man, he always looks good on a bike. And he looks exceptionally fast right now because he's already opened up a 2.5 seconds on this Barcia and Savacci battle. Good to see Savacci. Haven't had a start like this from him so far this year. He's in 2nd.
Yeah, nice battle right now between Christian Craig, Joey Savacci, and Antonio Cairoli. It looks like Christian Craig might have made his way past.
Barcia and Savacci battled like this for about 7th, 8th, 9th through the pack last week. They're picking up where they left off, but now in 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Christian Craig has worked his way into 4th, I believe. That's an impressive move. He's just had some good lines in the beginning there.
Several passes by Craig early. There's Anderson to the outside of green 21 trying to get Craig back. I think he might have edged him out at the top of the hill as Barcia puts the attack. There was no room, but Barcia still made the pass.
Around the outside and just pinched it off. And now here comes Joey Savacci fighting back. We'll see what happens. Barcia's got the inside, side by side up the hill, scrubbing. Joey Savacci's got the inside as Chase Sexton leads our first lap.
It's our Beta Motorcycles drone cam. Nice response from Savacci to repass Barcia. Meanwhile, Sexton has the gap already up to 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, good comeback ride here by Joey Savacci. I mean, he's still riding his way back into shape. He was out so long, missed on the entire Supercross season, so it's nice to see him up front.
The torn ACL, so the main thing he had to get through was the PTSD. He tried to race the Supercross with the knee injury, and that's what he had in the back of his mind. The last time he had ridden, it hurt so bad. Doesn't really have any pain in it right now. He just got to get through the mental side, and on a rutted track like this, he must have. He's riding very well right now.
Yeah, this is really critical for Joey to keep his knees locked in and his toes in the right spot on the pegs. You don't need to catch a knee, catch an ankle, catch a knee, and do some damage here. But he's looking really good right now, 2nd place.
Barcia is 3rd. Anderson able to get back around Craig, and he's on the charge.
Yep, just need the jersey flying out the back, a little loose off the jump there, doing what Jason Anderson does, and it's just so much fun to watch. But he was fastest qualifier, and again, we talked about it earlier that he did it in the 2nd session, which was slower. So he laid down a heater, and it would have been probably 2 seconds faster than anybody in the 1st session if he did that intensity.
Oh, it looks like Eli Tomac has made the move on his teammate Christian Craig. The Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing duo So as Anderson tries to move forward, Tomac looking to do the same. Anderson, can he find a way around Barcia?
Yeah, we got Plessinger back in 8th. Roxon, last week's winner there. He's back in 9th place. Uncharacteristic of Ken's start. Usually a little further up front, but we'll see if he can come back from that.
Anderson used his outside line a lap ago to get Craig. Little hitch coming out of that corner. Little hesitation. Couldn't get the drive that he wanted. Not able to clear Barcia.
Nice line there, though. He just jumps off the inside instead of just doing the traditional corner in that rut. He just kind of jumps into the rut from the inside. Nice move.
And an inside line at the bottom of the hill from Anderson. He is feeling it right now. There's no doubt about it. Can't say enough, though, about this ride with Joey Savacci early, pulling away from Barcia after Barcia had passed him for a moment. And now Barcia has to ride defensively because he has Anderson, and it might not be long until Tomac is there as well. He's going to have to fend them off.
Yeah, this is a nice improvement by Justin Barcia. I know he's been wanting to get faster and faster. He just started off just really rough. When you start off that, your confidence diminishes. You just don't feel that good about yourself when you're not riding your bike. If you're a professional motorcycle racer, you do tend to judge yourself a little bit how you're doing on the bike, and it's good to see Justin get back towards the front, and now he feels like he's got the speed. Now he's just got to stay up there.
Eli Tomac is up there now. He has caught Anderson as quickly as Anderson caught Barcia. We have a 4-rider battle because Barcia has caught Savacci for second. We'll give you the FMF battle box. This is our pair of Red Bull KTM teammates. What great racing in the 450 class. It's the next group. Caroli and his teammate Aaron Plessinger. That would be 7th and 8th behind Craig.
Yep, 7th and 8th right back there. And I think Aaron Plessinger's figuring out why this guy won 9 world championships. He might not be at his peak in his age, a little bit older than typical motocross rider, maybe not quite in the shape he needs to be, but he hasn't lost his racecraft. And Aaron Plessinger's going to have to work hard to get by that triple deuce 222.
Yeah. And then it's Roxon and Dungey. Surprised to see them back in 9th and 10th, but that's just how thick this 450 pack is, especially now that riders like Savacci and Barcia have found their form. Savacci didn't even race our opening round, and Barcia actually had COVID between the Monster Energy Supercross campaign and here in Motocross, so he wasn't really ready to run his normal pace. They have picked it up, and they've added to what's a pretty diverse cast of characters in this 450 division. This is fun to watch.
I'm absolutely. I had a chance to talk to Ryan Dungey. Very happy to know that he's feeling well. He got over his sickness a lot faster than the other parts of the paddock has. I mean, these guys just run at such a thin line physically all the time, and they go 17 rounds in 18 weeks for Supercross. Their bodies are worn down, and it's not hard for them when they start training for outdoor motocross to get an illness, and it takes even longer because they're so lean, body fat, etc. Their immune systems are just, they're taxed, and it takes them a while to get over these colds and these sicknesses.
2 battles at once. Roxon is all over Plessinger on the lower right of this FMF battle box, and then Anderson trying to hold Tomac at bay. Tomac showed Anderson a wheel a few times. Anderson responds. And watch the line selection here from Roxon, who's looking to make passes. Back to this battle. Barcia, Anderson, Tomac, all trying to figure out a way around Savacci. This is vintage Joey Savacci ride.
Yeah, and it takes a split screen to catch all the action out there. The people that are here at High Point Raceway, they're able to see it live, but we're doing a good job of trying to capture, but there's just so many races around the track. So,
ooh, Anderson trying to squeeze it in. These are 2 riders not afraid of contact, especially with each other. We've seen it many times, especially this year in Monster Energy Supercross. Hey, Anderson had to go. He had Tomac draped all over him. He makes the clutch pass.
Yeah, we talked about that. When you get held up and your pace starts going just a couple tenths of a second or a quarter of a second or half a second slower the rider ahead of you, that rider behind you gets up behind you. Then it takes so much effort to get that speed that you had, that momentum you had. It's so difficult. So Anderson made quick work of Barcia and is able to focus forward.
And now Barcia is going to have to deal with Tomac. Tracking the story all year long. Barcia, Tomac, Anderson, these guys have been battling each other since they were kids. They're all in their late 20s. Been about 20 years that they've been fighting each other. That's the thing about motocross. If you get on that national radar, you're not the local fast kid or your baseball team's good hitter. You race the best of the best. And these 3 have had tremendous battles. Tomac slips by.
Yep, and Tomac got the run around that base of the old Bradshaw Boulevard, got a good drive up that hill and used the 450 power to squirt by Justin Barcia there. And we talked about that. Anderson and Tomac, I mean, Tomac's from southwestern portion of Colorado. Jason Anderson grew up in Albuquerque. So when they raced, you know, not a whole lot of racing around that area. So when they did race, they probably had to travel 2 or 3 hours, but they raced together, even at more of a local level. And then nationally, of course, they raced all the time. So these guys know each other well, and then Justin Barcia too. So it's 22 decades of racing against each other.
Incredible, incredible. Okay, so the FMF Battle Box will show you Roxon. Wait, one of the KTM riders has gone down. I think that's Caroli.
Yep. Yep, we talk about that when you're using it. I know he was gambling pretty hard for the tire choice for the whole shot, etc. But sometimes when you get in a section like that, maybe he didn't have the best choice of tires there. But not sure what happened exactly.
Yeah, it's a compromise. Let's send it back down to JT.
So I just watched that crash with Christian Craig and Tony Cairoli, and Tony just came in a little bit hot. He went in to make an aggressive block pass there, and at the last second, he locked up both brakes and went down, or it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, yeah, the contact that put him down.
Yep. Craig
was able to escape. That wouldn't have been Craig's fault. So that puts Craig into 6th, Roxon to 7th. And, yeah, we haven't seen Roxon this far back this year. He's got a lot of work to do. Teammates about to go out at Anderson and Savacci.
Look at this Anderson around the outside, just carrying so much speed. And you don't really realize, I mean, Joey's obviously not going to fight too hard. He knows Anderson's probably going to be in a title chase here. But on the flip side of it all, I mean, Jason's just able to find a little better line carry, a little more speed around here. And then we've noticed multiple passes that have happened at High Point. Riders going the long way around just because they're able to carry more speed, and the inside rut starts deteriorating over time. It gets a little slower until the rider figures it out. Wait, this line's now become slower. I need to move too. So Anderson made that pass using the outside.
Impressive for Anderson, but 8.2 seconds is the gap to Chase Sexton, and he's done it in 10 minutes of racing. Sexton taking a little vengeance out after he crashed away a Moto win last week. He is walloping the field right now.
He's so far out ahead, it's hard for us to even focus on it because that's not where the racing action is. But he's running 2:04.1s, so almost a 2:04 flat lap time. And the next best lap time is a 2:05.4. So he's got the field covered by 1.3 seconds that last lap. That is incredible.
Tomac looking for running room against Savacci. He didn't even use the berm there. He tried to use that hard pack on the inside. Look, trying to show him a wheel. Oh, mistake from Savacci. But Tomac wasn't close enough to take advantage. This is for 3rd. These guys used to be teammates back when Savacci was on this team. This is the second go-around with Kawasaki. Tomac was there back in those days. So most of this 450 field not strangers to each other. This is Barcia and Craig, I would imagine, battling here. As we look at the FMF battle box. Oh, sorry, that is Roxon and Craig, yep. And that would be for 6th and 7th. Going to be valuable points for Roxon to try to make it up. But Craig, he wants these 450 riders to know that he is not a pushover. He's here to race them. He will be full-time in this class next year. So Roxon wants the points. But Craig, certainly not going to make it easy on him.
Yeah, Christian had a tough weekend at Thunder Valley, but he's looking to bounce back here on a Father's Day. So I think, you know, with that little contact with Caroli also lost up some momentum too, but hopefully he'll get it back and get back on pace.
Back to Savacci on the upper left. Tomac using some different lines to find an opening, try to make it happen. This is a renaissance ride for Joey Savacci. Caught a great break. This bike was available. Adam Cianciarulo out with an ACL injury, but here's the interesting thing. Their ACL injury, Savacci and Cianciarulo, happened around the same time. It shows the desperation. Savacci wanted on this team and this bike so badly, he's willing to come back early to get a shot.
Yeah, it's a good 6-month recovery, and Joey did a little faster than that. And you think that if he wouldn't have done that, would he have had the opportunity if that bike would have kept that number 9 on it, not the number 17? So good on Joey, ride himself into shape and show the Kawasaki rider, team why he should be out there. And who knows, if Adam comes back before the season's over, it'd be nice. Maybe they can get a 3rd bike out there. It'd be fun to see Joey get an extra chance. But Eli Tomac just doing what Eli Tomac does, carries all the crazy amount of speed. He can turn a bike. It's just impressive. I mean, accolades, there's not enough of them for the guy.
You just turned into awe when you saw that move. You saw it coming, you knew it was coming, and it was still impressive.
I just shake my head when I watch him do it because he's as good as anybody do it. And we talk about it, and I've talked about it before. He does it so often with feet on the pegs. Doesn't even put his feet down half the time he does those kind of moves. But it's, in my favorite corner again, right, with the wall, the high point wall.
Okay, so Tomac finally clears Savatgy. Can he close back up to Anderson? Oh, no. Tony Caroli is out of this moto. Maybe crash-induced trouble running into Craig there in that billboard turn.
Yep. See a little gesticulation of the hands there. I mean, not uncommon from where he's talking with your hands there.
Oh, Italian, okay.
Italian, little, but maybe he's describing exactly what happened. Looked like he was just saying, kind of lost both ends of the bike, but yeah, I don't quite read sign language, but it didn't take too much to translate that.
Savatgy trying to stick with Tomac as Tomac tries to close down on Anderson. Anderson had clear racetrack. Still lost ground to Sexton. What'd you see from Tomac there?
Yeah, just the feet on the peg. That's a double apexing corner, too. It's a downhill corner, and he just had his feet on the pegs the whole time. He's up on the toes. You see on the foot peg, he keeps his feet out of the ruts. Those are the corners you can easily twist your knee and carry him. And like Chase has his foot dangling a little bit, and Eli just that last corner, he had his feet on the pegs the entire time.
Haven't seen much of Chase Sexton, not just us, the rest of the field. And he is walloping them right now. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
So Chase Sexton got the hole shot and really checked out early. And as you guys know, Joey Savatgy and Justin Barcia were almost playing defense for him and allowed him to pull out this gap. Now he's looking at a 10-second advantage over Jason Anderson. He can really just manage it from here.
But Anderson was not as quick, even with open racetrack the last time around. Sexton maintaining that second or so advantage per lap. Halfway through this 30-minute and 2-lap moto. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your insurance with Geico. We got Brock Glover in here marveling over Eli Tomac, but also marveling over the style of Chase Sexton.
I just said I'm knocking on wood in here. I'm doing whatever I can because I do not want to give the announcers jinx. But this, so far for me, this is Chase's most impressive ride. And I know it's only halfway over, but I'm watching where he's carrying cornering speed, how he's doing it, the momentum he's carrying in every single corner. And it's just, I'm awestruck right now.
He won both motos at our opener. You think might even be better than this. The start was even better. He's had to work his way through traffic in some of the races. The motosport.com hole shot here. So I thought Anderson, he had the jump for sure, but he gets squeezed out by a couple riders, bumped by Caroli. His teammate Savatgy in front of him, and through all that, it allows Sexton to get the motosport.com hole shot.
Yeah, but it looked like Joey, he had it, and he had one little bobble right at the main corner, the part of the corner there. And when he does that, it allows Chase around the outside.
There it is, Chase Sexton. Motosport.com hole shot, and boy, did he ever know what to do with it. Gotta be angry last week. Said the right things on the podium after the race, but I heard before he walked up to the podium, he was furious with himself. Had the moto win in hand. Just tipped it over in those ruts. Colorado doesn't want to make the same mistake today.
And I'm not only watching Sexton going, just carrying incredible cornering speed, but I'm watching his motorcycle too. Did talk to the Honda staff a little bit about what changes they might be making. I talked about the importance of the keys to the motor with bike setup, and they did say this track traditionally gets more, I guess we call them checker bumps. They're square edge bumps, acceleration bumps. That tends to back off a little bit of the high-speed compression on your motorcycle to allow the bike to be able to move a little more freely and not lock up when the shock speed gets high. So I know they did that. The bike looks really good, tracking very, very well, and they might have made the right adjustment.
ETS Racing Fuels drone cam been tracking the progress of Ken Roczen. There he is in the center there on the Honda HRC machine, trying to get to Craig. Craig has done an excellent job here, has not allowed Roczen to get close enough to show him a wheel. And Ryan Dungey following his old rival Roczen through. He's gotten around Plessinger. So Dungey looking good here in the second half of this moto. Keeping Roczen in sight.
Yep, and we got the Club MX rider Garrett Marchbanks worked his way into the top 10. There's another rider that was a young up-and-coming mini bike rider from the Team Green program. Looked like he could, was one of those can't-miss kids. Had some good rides with Pro Circuit, and then, had a couple up-and-down sessions. Now he found his way back to the Club MX team. Seems to be very, very comfortable. And as he physically got larger and larger, it was clear that he needed to get up on the 450 machine, and he's done a great job adapting to that more power and the bigger bike. And he's continues to get in the top 10.
Yep, solid right now, right behind this battle, which is Craig, Roczen, Dungey, and then Plessinger would be the next rider in the order. But look at Dungey keeping Roczen in check.
Yeah, he's definitely there. And this is just, I guess, reinforces when I mentioned the keys to the Moto. Good starts, good starts, good start. Broken record. But you see, this is just keeps telling you why that's important. Roczen, last week's winner.
Yep.
Gets a poor start. Again, uncharacteristic of Ken Roczen, but his poor start is fighting really hard for a 7th and 8th place finish right now. So he's working real hard coming up on Christian Craig. Hopefully, and he's trying to get around him. But
Craig's fighting hard for the position. He's making it tough. Craig at one point was almost off the track, but managed to get back over and cover the line. Was way wide again, got to cover the line. So Roczen is doing everything, but Craig is proving to be a fighter in this moto. I think this is a battle for the lead. It's for 6th.
Yeah, it's just these riders are all so good right now. If you start well behind them, you're going to have a long day. It looks like somebody's bike's smoking, or I'm not sure I can see it on the screen there. It looks like I don't know if that's just a dust or what it is, but
yeah, if someone got off the track, they get kicked up in dust. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's dust or smoke. We'll know soon enough. Barsha's all alone in 5th ahead of this group. It's about 4 seconds to him. The timing and scoring has Tomac slipped into 2nd. We'll figure that out in a moment. Let's send it back down to Jason Thomas.
So Jason Anderson made a critical mistake there and has fallen back behind his teammate Joey Savachin. Got a lot of work to do. The issue here is he can't afford to give away points. He's already made too many mistakes and then had the unfortunate incident with the barrier last week, so he's got to get back to the front here.
Wow, so that's a big shakeup, JT. Anderson going from 2nd to 4th, and Roczen finally has the opening he wants on Craig and is able to make the pass stick. So that will put Roczen into the number 6 position. Oh, but Anderson needs to make up points on riders like Tomac, not lose them, and it just happened.
Yeah, this is the racing, the other riders in the competition is just too close this year to be having mistakes and giving up points. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see exactly on the camera what happened to Anderson there, but you don't want to be going from 2nd to 4th. Again, giving up points to Eli Tomac is not what you want to do for a championship.
Oh, Craig fighting back on Roczen. Going to try the outside. This is where he was, I guess on purpose, the previous lap, all the way to the edge. Almost able to make the move.
Yep, he's working some of that country club grass out there on that very edge, and takes a full outside line here too, which is very surprising. And Dungey makes the move. I'm not sure why Christian went out there. It seemed like a long ways to go, but Dungey snuck up on the inside. So hopefully Christian will be able to make an adjustment and switch his line there.
Back to our leader, Chase Sexton, with a mistake by Anderson. The lead is now 15 seconds. He is out to hammer them today. Oh,
don't be doing that.
Tucked the front a little bit, stuck the leg out. Man, that could have been bad. Trying to avoid the big mistake. Chase Sexton way out front. Can he maintain it? Stay with us.
New CRF 250R. Lighter, faster, stronger.
Ready to help you find your edge.
And it's become now a topic of discussion, and that's not what Chase. So Chase needs to break that at this point right now. I mean, he's got a 16-second lead, almost 17-second lead on Eli Tomac, one of the best riders in the world. Chase just needs to keep doing what he's been doing, but don't over push it. Just keep doing what you're doing. So he looks like he's on one of those days right now. This could be a 1-1 day real easily if he keeps this up.
Really showing something, because he won the opener, but he has won at that track before. So I think the real question was that an opening round thing? And often the first round of motocross The results are not reflective of what the rest of the season. You go in round 4 and you do this kind of damage, that's a statement. That's what he's trying to make right now.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
Beautiful day for some Pro Motocross racing, and it always looks good when you're watching Chase Sexton. Great style on the motorcycle. And unbelievable speed today. 17-second lead.
Just keeps growing. He's just basically putting about a second on Tomac every single lap. 1 to 1.2 seconds every single lap. And that's something to be bragging about if you're saying you're putting that kind of distance on Eli Tomac. But Chase is just flat on it right now. He's having one of those days you can see he's just not putting a wheel wrong. Style's perfect, line selection's good, really good flow. If you watch, he's just carrying a lot of speed mid-corner.
What an unbelievable start to the year for Honda. They dominated the opener. They were 1-2 in all 4 motos, something that hadn't been done in over 30 years when Honda actually did it in 1990 at the opener. They came into this race having won 7 of the 12 motos this year. They already got up to 8 out of 13 with the Lawrence brothers. Hunter taking the first moto win in the 250s. Could be a 9th moto win in 14 if Sexton can hold on to this. Just an absolute renaissance summer thus far for the factory Honda crew.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Sexton, I think, only raced High Point one time. I think it was like
on a 450.
Yeah. And he has on a I think he was 5th overall, 4th and a 5th, and for 5th overall. So, I mean, he's clearly shows speed. He's older now, more mature, and as we see, Jason Anderson's not going to let.
Wow.
he's come back alive, and he's not going to let Eli just walk away with the 2nd place.
So he's gotten around his teammate Savacci to get to 3rd, and he wants to repass Eli Tomac, which is no laughing matter, especially late in the moto. Eli is as tough as they come, the 3-time champion of this class. Anderson looking to get around him.
No, I chuckle only because Jason Anderson is truly, to me, one of the most fun riders to watch on a racetrack. He just is, just looks like he's having fun. He's loose on the bike, and he's going incredibly fast. So, see if he can make that move on Eli.
All right, it'll be like that crash never happened. He was in 2nd, dropped back to 4th, and looking to pick it back up. I don't know if Tomac just got the memo, though, that Anderson was there, because now he has put the hammer down.
Yep, he's got the guess who on his chalkboard. Here comes number 21.
Over the tunnel double. And Anderson's going to have to reset and go back after him. Tomac adds a few bike lengths.
Yep, both of these guys switched teams for the 2022 season, and it's just fun to watch them just both get along with them. Bikes well and ride like this. And
oh, yeah, it was spectacular to watch them duke it out. In Monster Energy Supercross, Tomac got the title there. Anderson was 2nd, and it is a rematch right now in a Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Although they are a long ways back of Sexton, going to put on a big duel for the number 2 spot.
Yep, you saw that little right-hander previously. The rut's obviously getting a little bit of a chucker in it, and the riders are having to do a mid-air correction as they take off. But Anderson goes a little different route there from Tomac. Tomac took the inside on the knob in the inside of the corner there, and Anderson just opted to keep it pinned around the outside, to no surprise, huh?
Jeez, Anderson was practically wheeling while turning in that right-hander. I don't even know how he did that and kept the front tire in the rut. He is on the move.
I don't even know how these guys do half this stuff anymore. One side of my ego tells me, oh, the bikes are so much better, and the other side of me is like, these guys are just phenomenal. The level of skill that they have and the practice and the time they spend at it, it's just elevated the sport to levels I never thought were possible, to be honest with you.
Man, they are hauling the mail right now, and to think that they're really not even closing much on Sexton while pushing this hard. They made up a 2nd on him. As we go back to our beta drone shot, really gives you the idea of the lines and the ruts. Slight variance. Anderson versus Tomac through that section.
Yeah, it's nice. They're finding 2 different ways to accomplish the same thing, and as we mentioned, now the soon as Anderson started getting close to Eli's now picked it up, and now they're starting to actually do lap times faster than Chase Sexton. So they're cutting into that lead. What was at one point almost
big time,
almost 17 or 18 seconds is now down to 14.7. So, and now 14.3. So they're taking anywhere between a half to even, we saw earlier, maybe even more than that. So Eli Tomac, trust me, he has pride too. He doesn't want Anderson to get around him. He knows this could very well be the guy that he's battling for a championship. I know we're only a third of the way through the series, but these guys are starting to push it.
Sexton is backed it way down into the 2:18 lap times, or 2:08 lap times. It's best with the 2:03. He's trying to bring it home and manage it, while these two are duking it out. Anderson.
Yep, there's that little kicker at the end of that. As soon as they go to take off, the camera doesn't do it 100% justice, but you can tell it's a downhill right-hander, and then they've taken off and doing a double.
He just over-jumped that triple. And it's hard.
Exactly. So to do that, you have to be carrying a lot of speed, and it was almost unintentional. I mean, he's just pushing so hard that he was carrying more speed than he normally has. But these guys are just on it. Good race to watch right now.
And able to reel Tomac back in despite those mistakes. He's loose. He didn't mean it to be that loose. Let's take a look at this again. It's going to be the hard landing.
Eli triples this, and they'll watch Anderson right here. He triples and a half. That's just flat lands the thing after the triple. Yep.
And quickly regroups and keeps the heat on Eli Tomac.
Yep, down at the low section here. Really steep climb. Tomac's back in, kicks off a rut a little bit, and didn't get the best drive. And now look at Anderson.
Ken Roczen in a battle right now. Is that Ryan Dungey making the move on him? Yes, it is. Dungey has made the pass. Roczen trying to get him back. Might as well be back 2014, 2015 days right now as Dungey and Roczen are going at it.
Nice little move by Ryan right there. Just kind of hits the bumps, and as soon as he was seated, he was ready to get back on the gas and accelerated out of the corner. But look at this.
And that's Savatgy right in front of them, so they're going for fifth. Roczen able to close it back off on Dungey.
Yeah, Dungey is frustrated that he didn't close that deal completely. He had it closed, but then Roczen retaliated. And then they're both going after Joey Savatgy, so this is a battle for fifth place.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's still encouraging for Dungey. It's 28 seconds down on the leader. We've seen some motos where it's 40 to 50 down. And if that's the measurement, how close he is to the lead pace, this is a big improvement.
Yeah, let me check that battle for fourth place, because that's the 51 of Justin Barcia right ahead. So we are seeing just this what we saw in the 250 race earlier, where we had 3 or 4 riders all battling one position. This isn't for the win. We have a battle. Sexton's by himself. We got a Tomac Anderson battle for second, but now we have this 4-way battle for fourth.
Oh, Dungey's working hard. He wants another shot at Roczen. Roczen has to deal with Savatgy. Savatgy dealing with Barcia. Said it about 100 times, I feel, this year, but the racing has been phenomenal in 2022. Roczen's going to try the outside on Savatgy, no room.
And hey, tip of the hat to Joey Savatgy. I mean, he's really starting to ride himself into being somebody contending and battling for top 5 finishes. So it's nice to see Joey back up to the speed that we know he is capable. It's tough coming back from the knee injury as serious as his was. Yeah,
just jumping back in the Kawasaki. It's been a few years since he's been on it. And then trying to balance training motos and testing motos. Roczen, he wishes this wasn't the case. He's been trying to get Savatgy the whole time. Still can't pull it off. There it is. Side by side, can he get a drive out of that rut? Savatgy will fight him on the inside, holds him off.
Gosh, I think Ryan Dungey, he's got to be frustrated, because this is the section right here that Ryan Dungey made his pass before. He had that inside on Kenny. Kenny
do it again.
Yeah, he did not. But you know what? That was an almost for sure. There's Ryan had the inside line there. Kenny got stood up in the rut a little bit. Unfortunately, Ryan also made a mistake coming out of that rut. You can tell the track is just getting torn up, and it's changing every single lap. So these guys are having to make adjustments every time they go through the section.
Yeah, Dungey, little mistake, bounced him out of the seat. That bails Roczen out. Roczen free to go back after Savatgy. Savatgy and Barcia, they battled pretty much every inch of our previous moto a week ago, and they've been darn close the entire moto here.
Yep, got Barcia. Justin Barcia did a 209.1, and then Savatgy did a 208.9, so that's only a couple tenths different. And then all 3 of these riders are all with it just a couple tenths.
Dungey again.
Yep.
Tried to use a lap
Look
rider.
at that, Roczen.
Ooh, they're going to meet at the exit of this corner. That was close.
That was really close. Dungey, being a vet there, knows that our lap rider might give him an opportunity that he might not see again, so he was trying to take advantage of it.
Dungey just dancing down this hill. Relentless with the attacks on Roczen. They almost come together again. Does Dungey have the pass made? There's lap traffic. There's Savatgy.
Look at Roczen fighting back. It looks just like what we saw, reminiscent of what we saw at Thunder Valley with the Tomac, where Roczen is not giving up. Look at that.
Dungey got held up with the lap rider, and Roczen gets him back.
Yeah, this is the second or third time we've seen that today, and then on top of that, we saw it last week with Roczen just not giving up those passes as easily as these riders. Maybe the history used to be. I mean, it seemed like Kenny didn't fight back as much. I've seen a lot more fight this year in him.
Well, he said he wanted to be relentless this year, and that's what he has done, fighting back. But, man, great run by Dungey. Look, this is the rider that won our last race, and Dungey's giving him all he can handle. Dungey has been retired since the 2017 season. It's a shock to hear that he was going to come out of retirement for his old team, Red Bull KTM. He said he's here for the challenge, and definite signs of improvement today. Not the track position, 7th place. That's pretty much where he's been all year. But 32 seconds down the leader, and keeping up with Roczen is a sign.
Yeah, I can attest to the fact that at Thunder Valley, Ryan had something going on, a cold. You could hear it in his voice, and then I just talked to him before today's race, and he sounded just the normal, crystal clear. Eyes were clear, looked like he felt totally fine, so I do expect him to have a good day today.
Savatgy just in front of them as we are on to the last lap. Chase Sexton looking to bring this one home. We won't even mention. What happened last week.
We're not even going to talk about it.
Nope, he's fine. 12-second gap.
What are you talking about? I don't even know.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so no worries.
Selective memory.
Yep.
Looks like Tomac has second lap down. That was a great challenge from Anderson. But Tomac has opened it back up. And look at Sexton. He is taking it on a cruise now. Yeah,
Anderson had a tough little lap right there. Dropped back into the 210s when Tomac is doing 207.1. So actually Eli had the fastest lap, but Sexton's only a few tenths slower, but he's got that luxury of not having to worry about it with 12-second lead.
Chase Sexton, what a way to bounce back from a bitter disappointment last week. If he holds on. And you got to keep in mind, look, he won the first 2 motos of the year. He almost won the second 2 motos of the year, just missed both of them. Almost won the previous moto. Looks like he's going to win this moto. Really, you take a 4th out of the picture, the first moto last week, and he has either won or been in contention to win every moto so far this year.
No, it's no question he's going to be there for the championship unless something really catastrophic happens between now and then. But, you know, this is still, it's 24 motos, and we're only a third of the way through. And it looks like he's on his way to a moto win here. So this could be a championship that he's well-deserved, I guess.
By far the most dominant moto win we've seen in a year of parity. Chase Sexton, vengeance on the mind after throwing it away last week. Not this time. Moto 1 at High Point, dominated by Chase Sexton. This battle is still raging. Dungey, Savatgy, Roczen. Dungey got Roczen on the inside. This time he makes it stick. He's not done. Roczen's going to go after him around the outside.
Dungey's looking at Savatgy coming down this hill right here, but he opens up that inside, and earlier that inside was a little bit faster.
Oh, Roczen wants to use it.
And Ryan might have opened the door.
Oh,
but
he's scrubbed.
Yep.
To the checkers. Savatgy, Dungey, Roczen side by side, and Dungey gets 6.
Oh my goodness, what a great one. Ryan took advantage. Look at Joey. And no, Joey fell after the finish line. I'm telling you, these ruts are, if all of us were out there riding, I guarantee there'd be a lot more of us doing that.
Yeah, I've been there, done it. I know.
These are some tricky sections. Not often you see a rider fall after the finish line like that. But
what a race down to the checkers. Savatgy 5th. That's a big jump for him in just his 3rd race back from a serious injury.
Fantastic. Hey, hats off to Barsha. Justin Barsha finishing 4th. I mean, that's impressive too. Anderson 3rd. And that's an incredible ride by Chase Sexton. There's not enough words to say what he just did right there. I mean, to win like that and to do it in the style Eddie, that's a statement win.
Yeah, no doubt, because every moto this year has been super competitive until this one, where he absolutely rolled this field. And it really wasn't until he backed down the pace later in the race that they were making up any ground on him. And he had it in complete control. There's his dad. And they're going to get back to business. Podium interview and a second 450 moto a little bit later this afternoon.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are two things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
Rated E for everyone.
Coming into this year, January, I break my pelvis the week of Oakland. The doctor's like, dude, don't walk on it for a month. I remember calling my parents, I'm like, well, I'm done. Like, and it's contract year. I was like, so I just wasted all this. I don't really see a sport that's like it, to be honest with you.
I can't have you just rolling your eyes at us. You got some.
Hey, where are you going? Hey. That's the giveaway bike. Hey, come on.
Hey, we're supposed to put that back in the shop.
Get off that thing.
You're supposed to be riding that thing.
That's the giveaway bike. Come on, man.
Enter to win at motorsport.com/win.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
We're back, fans getting to hang out in the midway, posing by Jason Anderson's bike, that race bike, the actual race bike, podium bound. And we'll show you how with our Lucas Oil race recap, 450 Moto 1. I thought Anderson's 21 Kawasaki was going to hole shot this one. Instead, it was his teammate Joey Savacci and then Sexton around the outside.
Yeah, and when Chase got the hole shot right there, that's just what he wanted because style, he's feeling it today. There's no question about it.
And he pulled a huge gap immediately. Watch this. Tony Caroli tries a pass on Christian Craig. He ends up going down. And whatever damage he incurred there would actually end his moto. That was it for the 9-time world champion of Italy. Should be back, though, for Moto 2. Doesn't look like he is busted up. And hopefully that bike is fixable. Jason Anderson on a run. He gets around his teammate Savacci here to get the second.
Yeah, he is on an epic run towards the front. And something happened where we didn't get to see it on film, unfortunately, and he went down, and then Tomac got back around him. But we saw this battle right here, Eli Tomac making his way through. One more shot at Joey Savacci, squares him up in the wall corner and makes a beautiful pass.
Lighting up that corner. This would put Tomac into third, but then when Anderson had the crash, we said we didn't see that, would put him into second, then Anderson would come back and challenge Tomac for the number 2 spot.
He gave him a really strong fight all the way towards the end, and then I think maybe another mistake at the end gave it a little bit of cushion, but tell you, Anderson, if he gets a start, he could be somebody to contend with too.
Oh yeah, but this moto, no doubt about it, dominated by Chase Sexton. Way to bounce back after throwing a moto win away on the last lap of the crash a week ago. So we can officially say that he's put that behind him. Sexton, a moto winner again, and series points leader still. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
Chase Sexton, you get the whole shot there, and it looked like at the very beginning you put a ton of focus on putting in your best laps early so you could get out front and then kind of manage the race from there. How'd you feel through it?
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to get out front. With all these ruts, you really want to have a clear track and be able to focus on what you got to do. So for me, I just, it was a perfect race, hit my marks, didn't make too many mistakes, and saved a lot of energy, so I'm ready for second moto.
Yeah, that's going to help too. He backed it down the stretch because there'll be another 30-minute plus 2-lap race in an hour for these riders. Here are the results. Fantastic race. 4th, Barsha, Savachi 5th, Dungey, Roxon 6th, 7th, Craig behind them in 8th. Plessinger and Marchbanks round out the top 10. Marchbanks again on that muck-off Club MX FXR Yamaha. Benny Bloss just outside the top 11 at a practice crash. Was banged up a little bit from last week, so good to see him return. Jeremy Smith, his season debut, finishes up in 23rd, just out of the points. Tony Crowley, as we saw, did not finish this one. Back to the podium.
Eli Tomac, runner-up position in that moto. It looked like once you got going, the pace was pretty strong, and these second motos have been incredibly good for you. You feel like you can get up front maybe in that second one?
Yeah, I was doing what I could there, and Jason made the mistake. That got me into second, and I found a couple lines really late in the moto that I think would have helped me that first half. So got to be smarter with my lines next time early on, and hopefully I've got that figured out now and give that a good push in Moto 2.
All right, looking forward to a battle. Maybe Tomac in there with Sexton in the second moto. He's in a rush to get back to the pits and get ready. We'll have a weekend off after our race at High Point. We'll go to Redbud, July 4th weekend. That's tradition for motocross fans. Redbud, then Southwick Sand Track in Massachusetts, July 9th. Minnesota, Washington, upstate New York will be the next stops. We're headed back to the podium. Jason Thomas, what an adventure it was for Jason Anderson in this moto. JT?
So Jason Anderson, fastest qualifier, get into second place, then you make the small mistake that drops you back into third place. What exactly happened? We couldn't see it.
Yeah, I went into that second line when I was behind a lapper, and I didn't take it all day, and I just kind of rushed the situation a little bit. But, yeah, it was on me, and tried to make a run back on Eli. But, man, these guys, we all got some fight in us right now. So I'm excited to come out that next moto and try and get a good start. But I really want to hopefully get out front and run away. But these guys are making it tough on me, and I'm ready to go. So we'll see how we do.
Moto win, he could still get the overall if it bounces his way.
Yeah, he could. We've seen things happen. I mean, Anderson could win the second moto, maybe a Tomac another second, and then Sexton and third. He can win the overall. Anything can happen. It's motocross.
He won it with a 1-3 at Hangtown, so he's certainly still in contention. We're not done. We're only halfway through the day. Second moto's coming your way, live on MAV TV.